In 2007, when a completely unheralded and untested coach named Pep Guardiola was appointed Barca B coach and charged with lifting them out of the doldrums, the dungeons of Spain's 4th division, he immediately phoned Domenec Torrent, our guest this week. From that date until now, Torrent, a Catalan, an ex-footballer, has gone on to help create some of the most beautiful, stimulating and most lauded football of the last decade, 20 years, 30 years. Torrent became part of the coaching team at Barca B. He was head of analysis and remained with Guardiola through his spells at the Camp Nou, where they won the treble, then at Bayern Munich, where he became assistant coach to Guardiola, at City, where he replicated that post to huge success and acclaim, before Torrent leaving for a successful spell as head coach of New York City, where they won the Eastern Division, City's first big title. We're going to hear about his journey from the Spanish lower leagues to the absolute pinnacle of the modern game. You'll hear about his first meeting with Guardiola, how Torrent helped advance the careers of Pedro and Busquets from 4th division football in Spain to within 2 seasons, starting in a World Cup final against Holland and becoming world champions. Torrent took on a new country, a new culture, a new language, and a new job when he accompanied Guardiola for the second time in going to Bayern Munich. Now, he was, instead of being the analytical right hand of Senor Guardiola, he was suddenly his assistant coach because Tito Vilanova had stayed behind at Barcelona. In this interview, he breaks down the challenge, the hefty challenge of taking over a squad, including such maverick talents as Arjen Robben and Frank Ribery. You'll also hear him dissect the extraordinary Champions League first leg semi-final between Bayern Munich and Barcelona in 2015, when the Bavarians came with unusual man-to-man, but nonetheless apparently brilliant tactics in a game where they looked like they would take a 0-0 draw back to Allianz Arena until the dramatic, ultra-dramatic last 17 minutes saw them being skewered, losing 3-0, and principally suffering at the hands of Leo Messi. Truly, Domenec Torrent has had a massive influence on not just Spanish, but European football since 2007. He's a very welcome guest on The Big Interview. Sit back, relax, and soak this up. This is The Big Interview for the first time in Girona, in the beautiful province of Girona, and for the first time with Domenec Torrent. Domenec, thank you very much indeed. We have to say bon dia.
Bon dia.
Even though the interview is going to be in English, bon dia, because we're in Catalonia.
Bon dia is perfect. In Catalonia, bon dia. Good morning.
Thank you for taking time to sit down and chat to us. My aim today, as everybody who's listened to The Big Interview for years will know, will be to draw out some of your football experience and intelligence. But we're sitting with a man who has been fundamental in giving us enjoyment for years, fundamental in changing football for the better, in my opinion. So I know, and the listeners know because we've explained to them, that you were a talented footballer that had a bad knee injury, like Brazilian Ronaldo's knee injury. You were a first coach for 14 years in teams near here, like Palafrugell, like your beloved Girona. But I'd like to pick up the story when somebody, and I don't know if it's Alex Sanko or Pep Guardiola, says to you, come and help us. Come back to where you nearly began as a footballer. Come back to Camp Nou. Come and be part of, we're building this special team. We're building this special team of guys to take the B team of Barcelona out of what I guess was the 4th division or 3rd division?
3rd division.
3rd division.
3rd division.
Barca B in the 3rd division. Yeah. So what happens, first of all, when somebody says, Domenec, are you interested in, what happened?
In this year, I work in Girona, in the 3rd division as well. We was champions in the 3rd division, but I worked for many times near to my home in Girona, in Palamós, in Palafrugell. And I say I need to rest a little bit. In that moment, in that period, the Barcelona called me about if I'm interested about the young talents for Barcelona. I say okay, because I had many information about the young players in not just in Catalonia, even in Portugal, in French, because I love this job. And I say okay. After 1 month, we meet with Pep Guardiola, and he said me, I'm Pep Guardiola. I say, I know, of course I know, because I was a big fan the Pep Guardiola, like a player, you know. And I say, okay, I know you was a head coach in Girona and third division, and I need a little bit help because I don't know the third division in Spain. I say, okay, for me it's not a problem, but you need to talk with Alessandro. Alessandro was in that moment a boss in the academy players and.
He was a central defender who was captain.
No, he's a captain. He's a legend. He's a legend in Barcelona. I remember when we went with my colleagues the Champions League final in Wembley, when Barcelona, the first time Barcelona won the Champions League. Alessandro was a captain in Barcelona, and Pep Guardiola played in this team.
You were there in Wembley, like a fan.
Yes, like a fan, because I'm a partner, Barcelona partner. I'm all the time a fan of Barcelona, absolutely. And I was privileged to saw the game, to watch the game in Wembley in that moment. And Pep Guardiola was for me a top player, and when he said to me in Barcelona, Dome, I need you, but maybe you can help me, because I don't know the third division is. For me, it's a privilege, but you have to talk with Alessandro. It's not a problem, because the relationship with Alessandro is really good, and that happened in 1 month. Say okay, that's fine. And in that moment, I remember Monday, Tuesday, until Friday, I worked with Pep about the tactics, about what happened with the next opponent in the third division. And after that, Friday, Saturday, the weekend, I went to, I don't know, Andalusia, to try to convince this player, Nolito, for example, or Chico. The best way to work in football is maybe join in the Barca B with Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
And that's happened about 1 year. After that, you know what happened exactly? Pep, in 1 year, was head coach in the first team.
But there's a reason that you guys went up to the first team, which I think they promoted you to the first team on your birthday, on July 14, 2008. It was your birthday, but everybody needs to earn the promotion. So let's try and let our listeners understand what you and Carlos and Tito and Pep achieved.
Exactly.
I want to know what you were doing, because most of the people who listen to me have got no idea where Pobla de Mafumet is. They have no idea where Manleo, San Andreu, maybe they know. Masnau, maybe they've heard of. Matera, but Manresa, Premia. So I want to know, I guess that a lot of the time for Pep as the head coach of Barca B, some of the work was to go to Samboy or Villanova or wherever it is, Pobla de Mafumet, and study the team in their previous game before you played them. So I'm trying to imagine, Dominic, when you arrive, either with the camera or somebody has the camera and you're the Barca B guy, how do they receive you? Always friendly, respectful? Sometimes, because football is like, here come the big guys.
No.
So describe the various experiences.
No, was good, because the first idea is about they want to work. They are here to work. A lot of people in Sambo, in San Carlos de la Rápida, in Manlleu know me. The first time maybe they don't understand oh, Dom is here. He's not a head coach because I work many times as a head coach in the third division, and many people in Catalonia know me about that. But it's comfortable for us, for Carlos and me, when we have to record. Look what happened. Carlos and me, we were the coaches in Girona, in Palafrugell and Palamós, and in one moment we have a camera and we record the opening for Pep.
So some people could look at you and go, before he was a chief,
some people,
now he's carrying a camera.
Yeah. Some people say, oh, what happened? The reason why. I explain many times, many people, because I love Barcelona, Football Club Barcelona. For me, it's a privilege to work with Barcelona. I decided to rest 1 year, but after that, when Barcelona called me, say, okay, it's a good idea. And the most important thing, we can work with Pep Guardiola. And Pep Guardiola begin like a coach, head coach. But for me, I was a big fan when Pep played football. And right now, I don't know, but I feel something special. When I work with Pep, I say, oh, Pep can become a great coach because he's intelligent people. He has passion. He's a fan for Barcelona. It's almost impossible because Pep just training 1 year in the third division, and you need a little bit lucky to join with a special president like Laporta or Chiqui Brigustein.
With Cruyff up the top of everything.
Cruyff is the top, and Cruyff, for me, the lead of this project is Cruyff, because when Cruyff say, I think Pep is ready to take a team, the first team.
Domènec, we're talking about two geniuses. In football clubs, you're lucky to find one.
I agree.
And then if you go Cruyff, Pep. Messi, incluso, and also Xavi and Iniesta in their way. Sometimes you were working with 5-6 geniuses.
I agree, because it's the perfect team for Pep, because the first genius is Johan Cruyff, the second one is Pep Guardiola, but the third one is the team. The team is Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, Eto'o, Titi Henry. I don't know. After that, after 3 months, Busquets, because you remember.
We're going to talk about him. We're going to talk
Pedro
about him.
And Piqué. Piqué, I remember we went with Carlos in Manchester to watch the young teams, Manchester United, Liverpool. And I remember Piqué is not in the bench; he's in the stand. He's in the stand. What happened? And after that, Tito, because Tito knows a lot this player. Because
he trained him when they were
trained
and Messi together.
Cesc and Piqué. And all the time Tito talk about Piqué with Pep, say, oh, for me he's a top centre back, but right now, when he comes back to Barcelona, Gerard is 19 years old. He was 19 years old. It's not easy to play in Barcelona in this kind of team, because the genius is Marquez, Puyol, Vidal. It's the perfect team for Pep, because it's very important to convince the players. But when you have this kind of players, technical, it's amazing, a genius like Messi, and I think Pep was a brave coach, because the first idea for Pep is, if the Messi needs to growing up, maybe you need to change something. And something is, what happened, Deco and Rooney. And Rooney is another genius, no? And help a lot Leo Messi. But sometimes you need to change something, because I remember this year Real Madrid won the league. And Barcelona, I think, is 18 points. See, 18 or 19 points.
They lost the Clásico at home 1-0. They lost the Clásico in Bernabeu 4-1. Xavi said to us in the film we made, he said it could have been 7-1, sin bromear.
But when that happened, you need to change something. Yeah. And this is Pep, because it's not easy to take these kind of decisions.
But Domi, you know that now. Back then, you didn't know that so well. So back then, what I want to ask you is, when, not right at this moment we're talking about, you don't yet know Pep very well. So when you're out to the Campos of the third division, what is he asking you to do? What is he asking you to bring him?
Well, I think I have.
In that first season.
Yeah. The first season I had experience in the pitches. For example, it's not the same to play in Barcelona in
the beautiful mini stadium.
In the mini stadium. And if you play in Caçà de la Selva, it's another pitch.
Describe it.
It's a synthetic pitch. It's a small pitches. If you compare with the mini stadium, I know every single player in the Caçà, in Manlleu. I say, be careful, Pep, because they have two fast wingers, or the striker is very dangerous.
Is it a league? Now I'm comparing with Britain, but is it a league where some guys go, yes, this week Barca B is coming, I'm going to find one guy and kick him?
Maybe, I don't know. It's exactly.
Was it like that then?
Yes.
Aggressive.
I remember we started to play a little bit so in the third division, because the Pep's idea is not the same to play in the third division and the big stadiums, in the mini stadium or this kind of pitches, and you need to change a little bit. Not the style, because the style is not the system. For me, the style is not to play 4-3-3 or 4-2-2 in diamond. The style is if you are a reactive coach or proactive coach. Pep is a proactive coach, but you need to change a little bit when you play against Manlleu, for example, or San Carlos de la Ràpita, because the pitches is not the same, and you need to improve a little bit, maybe in the build-up, or you can play with the wingers in the sideline, wide but in the sideline, don't move because the spaces is here. This is Pep, but Pep is a clever man. Every single week I talk with Pep about how dangerous is this kind of team, away or at home. It's different. For example, in the third division, usually it's not the same the teams when they play at home and away. And they need to know that. Pep and Tito, because maybe the idea is perfect, but it's very, very difficult to play in the small side when you play in the against aggressive team.
At home, the small teams are aggressive. It's like a cup tie. They want to knock over Barcelona.
Exactly. But when they play with us in the mini stadium, they are, be careful, because in the mini stadium, if you are brave, maybe you can lose 5-0.
So they're more conservative.
Is more reactive, They use the counter all the time. And maybe when you play against the same team,
in their pitch, they're on you. They're quick. They're aggressive.
Make high pressing all the time. Make fall.
So you gave Pep knowledge.
Yeah, it's about how different it is to play in the third division. My knowledge about Pep is, be careful, because this kind of team, for example, you know exactly how difficult it is right now to play against Osasuna in Pamplona, Every single coach in the first division, now be careful, maybe they are in the 15th position in the league, but be careful when you play against Osasuna in Pamplona, in Nou Camp or in Bernabeu, but it's not the same, because
It's a good comparison.
It's the same. I can help Pep about that, about how are the important players, the opponent, the next opponent, how important it is to play a little bit different in this kind of pitches. And after 2 or 3 months, I remember in the first 10 or 12 games, we were in trouble.
You think you were in trouble?
Yeah, we were in trouble. I remember we were in the first position, 5th position.
In 5th?
In the 12 games, the first 12 games. We draw the game, the first game in Premier. We draw the game, for example, against Manresa in Manresa. But
you lose to Manresa.
You lose in Manresa, or you lose in Manresa. But it's not the same. But because both coaches, Pep and Tito, are intelligent, clever. And they changed a little bit after 15 games.
So they learned quickly about the third division. What was the process for you learning about Pep? Because now he's not just an idol, he's your boss. At first, he's like, Domé, you can give me things. You can.
Yeah.
But then you begin to notice how he works, his intensity, how demanding he is. What was that process like for you as a coach to learn?
Yeah, I learned a lot about Pep, especially in the build-up, because he's a master. Pep is a master in the build-up. And Pep, maybe, he started in the first division, learned to me a little bit how important it is to make a good high pressing organization when you defend near to the 18-yard box, the movements. He asked me about the movements when I was a head coach in Girona, the high pressing, because he'll love make high pressing. Maybe that is my...
So you were teaching him at this stage, which is his first year of coaching.
Yes.
You'd had 14, 15 years and you liked already the high pressing style. This is true.
But it's normal, no? Because Pep demand all the time and ask all the time, all the coaches, even, I don't know, in the restaurant, is possible Pep ask the waiter, what do you think about Barcelona? Or what do you think about... This is Pep, no? He's a genius. That is the reason why he's a genius as well. But I learned a lot about Pep, especially in the build-up, how brave he is when he plays, especially against the great teams, Real Madrid. He's better, Pep, when we play more brave. When we play against Real Madrid, not against, Almeria or Osasuna, these kind of teams in the middle of the table. And he was a master for me, especially in the build-up. And what happened and where are the spaces, no? You can play against 4-4-2 in Diamond, and Pep talk all the time how important it is, and say to, for example, Messi, Iniesta, oh, look, the spaces against this team will be here. Not, for example, against Real Madrid, maybe you can play wide and wingers in the sideline. But against Atletico de Madrid, for example, is very important. Messi go inside, Dani Alves wide, and for that Pep is a master. And I learned a lot about that, especially in the build-up. What happened when you make the build-up three in the back and the fullbacks wide and high, or maybe you can play with three defenders, but the fullback with the two center backs and another. Every single game is different. Maybe the people don't know that, but during the week, Pep prepare for the next opponent a little bit different. Even in the Man City. And especially in Bayern Munich. I remember in Bayern Munich, we play sometimes 4-4-2 with Diamond, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, 3-4-3. The reason why, because Pep said, no, the next opponent play in that way, but we can improve if we play in that way. That's mean when I say the style is not the system. It's not the system. The style is concept. The style is I want to play 1-2 touches. That is one style. I want to make build up, and I want to make high pressing when I don't have the ball. And we have to react quickly when we lose the ball. We have to be able to recover the ball. That is the style.
All of the things you've talked about, Domènec, require intelligent footballers. So, before we leave behind the third division, before we leave a title win, because you win the title and you win the playoff, it's a big success. There are two players in there that we mentioned. There are a number of good players. Chico, you find he goes on to have a good career, I think, in Swansea. Nolito played for Spain. He's back at Celta de Vigo now, played for Manchester City. But the two most important players, without any question, are Busquets and Pedro.
Yes. Of course.
Neither of them, I think, begins the first game. Both of them are more or less the youngest guys in your Barca B squad. When did you begin to notice that they were different or special? And what did you begin to notice about Pedro and Busquets in those first months?
I remember these kind of players, not just Pedro and Busquets, Victor Vázquez, Victor Sanchez, player right now in Espanyol, and many players. They was part in the pre-season in Scotland, and they help a lot. They maybe learn the players, the first team, what kind of football Pep like to play.
They taught them. They taught the first team players.
The first team players. And I remember when we play against Mexican teams in the pre-season in the United States or in Scotland, they help a lot. But not just one or two players. You can talk about that with Xavi or Iniesta. Say, oh, I understand when Pep say, no, stay here, don't move. The ball is coming. They are used to playing in that way, you know. And I think this group, maybe 6 or 7 players, play in the position, and it's my opinion, they help a lot the first team players. And especially these kind of players. I remember Pedro is amazing, because Pedro, when we arrived in the Barcelona B with Tito, he was out in Barcelona. Yeah. And I remember Tito and me, because I play against Pedro last year in Girona. With Girona, I say, oh, I like this player because if you need wingers, this is the wingers. And they score a lot of goals, Pedro, in the first division. And Tito as well say the same, because Tito know this player. And we start to watch a lot of games about the last season with Pedro in the first division. Say, okay. And Tito, I remember, say to Pep, okay, we can try to play with Pedro in the position, and after that, you make a decision about Pedro. And you know what happened with Pedro. And the first division, I remember, that's mean Pep is a brave coach, because I remember we lost the first game against Numancia, and we drew the next game, we drew the game against Racing de Santander in Nou Camp. Pep is a brave coach, because he showed me in this game, in the 11 starting, play Busquets. Usually, the rest of the coaches say, no, play the top players. And Leo was in the bench, because I remember he played with the national team in Argentina, and he was tired. But Pep showed me he was convinced the best way to play is with Pedro and Busquets in the new camp. And after the game, I remember he told me, oh, if we lost the next game against Sporting de Gijón, maybe it's the first time in Barcelona we was in the bottom of the table. It's the first time. But after that, I think that the players are sure they have the best coach in Barcelona in that moment. And I remember many important players, Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, Victor Valdés and Puyol, talk with Pep and say, don't worry, coach, don't worry, I'm very happy with you. And we are sure we will win the next game.
This is going to work.
Yeah, because in the position was fantastic. Not just the results, the way to play was fantastic in the pre-season.
Then there's something I'm showing here that it's this. When you look at Pep, and you're talking about the fantastic pre-season in St Andrews in Scotland, he has this amazing power of being able to convince people, to make them listen, to make them hear, but also, above that, to make them understand. I heard senior, great footballers at Barcelona, and we're going to talk about Bayern and City, saying, well, I'm not just doing what the coach says, I understand. Because in football, it's not always important that the players understand. There are some managers who, if the players are doing what they're told, everything's okay. But you guys, I'm talking about you as a group, you wanted them to understand what they were doing, because I guess then they're in control more of what they should do because they understand.
Yeah, I think it's easy to convince the players and the staff, because when you see the work, the hard work to Pep every single day did in the pitch, in the locker room, wherever, is it's impossible. Don't convince the players. The players are convinced after 10 days. The problem.
Except some of them were pissed off because
No, the
Pep will go 1 millimeter this way and he'll put hands on, and I saw them go. Whoa.
But when they are happy in the pitch and they think about that, oh, it's working.
If
This
it works,
is
then
a
you
great
win.
idea. It's working.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
Yeah.
I enjoy every single game. It's easy. The problem is that the fans, the fans around the football, oh, it's a young player, they don't have experience in that. It's better Mourinho, it's better, I don't know, Wenger is better. It's normal. Convince the players and the staff is easier if you compare with the fans and even in the journalists, you need to win. If you want to convince the fans, you need to win. The players, you need to win as well. But the players can enjoy every single day in the pitch and they feel are better than the opponent, and it's a good idea that Pep did. But about the fans, and the journalists, if you win, you are right. If you don't win, you are not right. They are right. And that is different.
There's a phrase here called resultadista, which means all your judgments are based on the results, not the idea, not the strategy.
Agree. It's about, we draw the game. We play. I remember when we draw the game against Racing de Santander. For me, the team played really well. And just Johan Cruyff, I remember he wrote in Periódico, the Catalan, in his column, say, no, they play fantastic. They say, or the paper said, the people, I think about Johan Cruyff, he's crazy, But he was right.
People aren't meant to, not everybody is meant to understand a genius.
No.
Because geniuses are different.
Yeah, the genius, you are a genius sometimes when the people don't understand you.
Yeah.
You are a genius.
Yeah.
And after maybe 20 years, I say, he's a genius. But when he started to work, there's many doubts about. The interesting is the results. If you win, good. If you draw the game, especially in the Nou Camp, it's not good. Even for the players, it's not good. I know, I agree. But the analyze about the football. It's not about if you want to play in this kind of game, but especially it's not about if you win, you play well. No, sometimes you win and you play, you don't play well.
But lots of fans, like when we were traveling here, I talked about being addicted to living in the city, and I said it's a mistake, it's a drug. Lots of fans are addicted to the idea of, this week we're shit. This week we're fantastic.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's about the result.
It's addictive.
Yeah.
You get into this cycle of.
I know.
It's like going to the opera.
But I understand that, Raham, because the fans want to win every single game, but sometimes it's not possible. But if you are happy with the coach, with the players, with the style, it's about time. Maybe in 2 or 3. I remember when we start to work in England in the Premier League, say it's impossible to play in this style in the Premier League. And Pep say, why? The reason why is if you have the right players, if you have quality players, you can play in England, in Italy, in Spain, in Portugal, wherever.
Also in South Africa, do you remember where you were on July 11, 2010? July 11, 2010, where were you? Where did you watch the World Cup final?
In that period, I'm here, holidays, and I watch every single game in the TV. I remember that. But I remember how difficult it was for the national team the first 2 or 3 games.
Switzerland was there in Numancia.
Switzerland, the same. And the fans say, no, it's impossible to win something.
But how do you feel as a Catalan, a Spaniard, however you want to describe yourself? On July 11, 2010, they read out the team sheet. And 2 guys from 2 years earlier, in 2008, that you guys promote to the B team of Barcelona in the 3rd division, start in a World Cup final, Domènec.
And I remember when Del Bosque, amazing coach, amazing person, good man, say about Busquets, because the people criticized Busquets. They say, if I was a player again, I want to play or I want to be Busquets. That's his chapeau, no, for Del Bosque, and that happened. The people, the fans, the journalists. Oh, shit game. It's impossible to game to win the World Cup. Yeah, and 80% is about Busquets. Busquets cannot play. It's impossible to play with Xavi, Alonso, and Busquets. And after that, what happened? But you have to be patient, and the style is the style. And if you believe in that, if you believe in the style, you need a little bit time. It's easy to play long ball, for example. If you play long ball and you recover the second ball, the team is there. Okay, but when the ball is in the air, you don't know what will happen with the ball. Sometimes the people say, "Oh, it's dangerous to make a build-up." I don't agree, because if you make a build-up, you know exactly when you want to do. But in the long ball, you have
control.
You have to control. You have your control.
It's like going to a casino. I sometimes if you can count the cards, you might still lose, but you give yourself a big opportunity if you can count the cards.
Totally agree.
If you give your money to the roulette table, it's fantastic if you win on red or number 36, but you don't know. It's the same thing.
The same.
The percentage chance you're bringing control to yourself by controlling the ball, controlling the play. And so I know you're a humilde man, but I won't leave the World Cup without saying you're also a man, not just a coach.
Yeah.
You have to feel a little bit of pride that two of the... Okay, so there was plenty of Barca players in there. Iker was fantastic. David Villa was fantastic. But Pedro and Busquets, partly, you have helped...
I'm very proud, Graham. I'm very proud because I started to work with them in the first division. It's not easy, but the important man was Pep, because Pep trusts them, and I say, no, you have to play. You deserve to play and play. You know? And after that, they deserve to play because every single game they play really well in Barcelona, and after that they can play in the national team. No? But I'm very proud because both are good players, but good men, both. Especially both, because I talked about Pedro. Pedro was out in Barcelona B, out, and right now the career is Barcelona, Chelsea. I don't know the next
so many
team.
Trophies.
So many trophies and personality. That is the most important thing. Personality, because you need
sunny, smiling,
a smile all the time. They transmit a good feeling.
But also because now it's become fashionable for people in our country. Over the years, people now talk about Busquets being genius and fantastic. Okay, super. At first, nobody understood. Then now everybody understands, and it's very fashionable.
It's normal.
But recently I spoke to two people, Rio Ferdinand, Manchester United, Darren Fletcher, Manchester United, and I was just talking for fun, they were raving about Pedro's movement, how he spread the pitch, his timing of when to come inside, not come inside, how he links with the midfield, when he tricks you, says he's going, he's not going, they raved about him. So in my opinion, he's now the guy who's a bit undervalued, misunderstood. He isn't given enough appreciation because he's not just quick, he's smart and technically good.
I think Pedro is a clever player because it's not easy to defend Pedro. Because Pedro, I don't know, sometimes you can say about Pedro is a right foot or is a left foot, both. When they play wide, they use the movements inside, in between the centre back and the fullback. He's not a fast player. He's not a top player as a 1v1, but he's a scorer. He's a scorer. He scored many goals in Chelsea and Barcelona, and I don't know the next year. But it's important to understand that Pedro was able to play in the two teams because he's a clever. It's not about physical. Pedro, he's a small player. He's a small player. He's not. He's not fast player like I don't know Sterling, for example, is fast player. He has another quality. But the most important quality for me, if you talk about Pedro, is he's a clever man, and he used every single quality he has, and he has exactly the quality is not 1v1. In fact, if you watch review the games, when Pedro has the ball, pass the ball. It's not always is pass the ball. It's not. I prefer 1-2. With I don't know Xavi, Iniesta or Hazard when we play in the. But he's a different players. He can play really well in the Premier League. He can play maybe in the Calcio in Spain, and I'm sure in the future he will be again an important player in every single team.
When you win the treble in the first season in the first team of Barcelona, which was the most difficult rival for you to scout, to understand, to unpick?
We are not in trouble, just in the results. But in my opinion, when with Carlos we were a scout in Barcelona, is understand for Pep is very important 2 or 3 things. If the opponent make a high pressing or defend, for example, deep and compact, okay, that is the first one. If they make a high pressing, what happens with the wingers, the opponent? They may have pressing inside, or they avoid this kind of pass. No, I say Pep, this kind of players. When I remember against Madrid, because against Madrid, always my job and the Carlos when we were scouting Barcelona. For example, Carlos worked against Atletico de Madrid and always Dome against Real Madrid. When Pep asked me about when we the famous game we won the game 6-2. I remember Pep say, in this week especially, look what happened with the centre backs Real Madrid.
Cannavaro Metzelder?
Exactly. And when the striker drops to play a little bit, if they follow him or they stay. And it's about that. No? Sometimes for me, for the scouting, it's very important to understand the head coach, because every single head coach needs another concepts to do for the next game. Pep is very interesting about the defenders, the opponents. What happened when, for example, Titi Henry is wide, if they stay, or when Titi go inside, they follow him. That means the spaces will be wide, and I don't know, Abidal or this kind of thing, Dani Alves can use the spaces, no? But it's not. I think the important for one scout is understand exactly what need the head coach.
So when you go to a game, I think I understand. You see lots of things that maybe interest you a lot, but you need to understand who you're working with, what he wants to hear. Also, I suppose, how much he wants to hear, because you have such small amounts of time that giving the right morsels of information, not everything.
No, because everything, maybe for Pep is important 3 or 4 things. High pressing, if they defend deep, when they lose the ball, if they react quickly, or maybe stay again. They like to defend compact. That is important for Pep, because they can talk with the players about, that happened in the next game. When that happened, Xavi, you need to play behind holding midfielders, for example. Or in the next game, no, you have to drop to play because we need 3 against 2 in the middle. That is important for Pep. Even for me, like a head coach in New York City, I talked many times with my scout about, I need that or I need that. I don't need dates about Balbalus. If they play 80% long ball, no. You can say they play usually long ball. Be careful. We have to defend with 5 when they play long ball, or the holding midfielders join to the line and we defend with 5. Or they play all the time with the right fullback, not the left fullback stay. That is important because every single opponent is different. And you can say to the head coach, be careful because they play quickly, direct with the striker, set the ball and attack all the time. Pep, okay, we have to defend in that way. And Pep decide the best way to defend. That is important. they need to have a lot of information, but they need to give me the right information, because it's not a lot of information.
Otherwise you
It's the same.
drown
No, it's the same when Pep play in the meeting with the players. Say, pam, 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 3 things. Be careful. This is Atletico de Madrid, this is Man United, this is Chelsea. Chelsea with Conte play with 3 in the back, 2 wing-backs, and they play inside. Diego Costa set the ball, Hazard, Pedro. Be careful because they play all the time here. That is important information for the players. 3 or 4 things. Be careful because always they play in the same way. And you need to make information about the players. What is the best solution to defend and what is the best solution to attack? That is important for me.
So if we talk about, I don't want, it makes me sad to leave behind Wembley in 2011, the beauty of that game, the semi-final of this series of Clásicos, because I'd love to speak about them, but time makes me say, when you go to Germany, I think about, again, our guests are not just football professionals, they're men or women. You have to think about going to Germany for family, for you and your wife. You have to think about a change of culture, a change of country, a change of language, and a change of job. So tell us, educate us about that why did you say yes? And also, what kind of challenge? Because those are a lot of changes in one big, high-profile moment.
A lot of changes. The first change, he was becoming the assistant coach. The most important change for me. But I remember when Pep asked me about if I'm interested to work with him again, to join with him again in the professional team. I say yes. I don't know what will work in the next game, because I remember we talked about 30 minutes about football, about the kind of a style you can play, I don't know, in another countries. And after 30 minutes, he asked me, "Oh, you don't ask me about the next team." I say Premier League, Chelsea, City, United, Chelsea, Tottenham. I don't know. No, Germany, Bayern Munich. Why Bayern Munich? No, because it's a big team. I watch many games. I think it's the best team right now to work again. I say okay, but I have to speak German, because when you are Catalan people, I'm very proud with for example, you can speak Catalan. I'm very proud when the people come to another country, I don't know, Scotland, African, French, and in 1 or 2 years speak Catalan. And I say, why not? You have to speak German. In fact, in 8 months I could speak German, because for me it's very important to be part of this country, to be part the society in German. And in fact, for the German people it's very important, because when you speak German, say, oh, because they know it's not easy to speak German. No?
Genau.
And I say genau. And I say, Pep, oh, it's very difficult to speak German. No, it's the second thing about the new job, but it's not easy even for my family. My son was 12 years old. He didn't speak English, not German. English as in the school, but it's not the same.
Not to communicate.
Not to communicate.
Yeah.
And he started to study in Munich. And right now I'm very happy. I'm very proud because he can speak French, German, English, Catalan, Castellano. No, it's very important. But it's a lot of change. I was lucky because my family is amazing, because they decide to follow me. It's not easy because my family was comfortable here. My son, my daughter, my wife. My wife especially was a perfect job for her, and she decides to help me. I'm very proud. And right now, everybody in the family can speak 4 languages.
Very good.
Not, not very well, my English, but
Your English is good.
but it's important for the family, and they remember especially Munich, because it's the first time we go out to Catalonia. Especially when you talk about Munich, say, oh, amazing, and it's a special city for me.
Bavaria is an incredible region.
Incredible.
There are maybe some similarities with Catalonia in terms
Yes,
of
I agree.
the mountains and the forests and
The
beauty.
mentality, even the mentality,
mentality?
the people. The people work very hard. The mentality when you have to make a party is a party, but when you have to work.
So work hard,
Fiesta hard. When I remember Munich, I remember that. It's very similar.
How do you look in lederhosen? When you see it for the first time, did you go, Pep, really? Really?
Don't worry, after 2 or 3 beers, it's simple,
After 2 or 3 beers, everything is simple.
It's simple. After that, we enjoy a lot. Oktoberfest was fantastic.
With beers this
No,
size.
the people enjoy every single second in the Oktoberfest.
People talk about Bayern Munich before. If we go back to the era when Beckenbauer was coach, when Trapp was coach, it became FC Hollywood because there was big personalities, Oliver Kahn all the time, Effenberg. There was Basler, a lot of rows, a lot of problems.
Yeah.
You didn't inherit a squad quite like that, but you. What was it like in Sabener Strasse and the matches? Because you have Uli Hoeneß, sometimes you have Beckenbauer, often you have
Rummenigge, Müller. No, but
Try and take us into the daily routine with these legends around you.
Easy because it's not the same. It's better than Barcelona, for example. Because than Barcelona for me is, Cruyffista, Laportista, Nunista.
A bit divided.
It's divided in Barcelona. In Bayern Munich, my feeling was if you work 1 year, 2 months in Bayern Munich, you are always, all the time,
Forever.
You are forever in the soul in Bayern Munich.
Really?
And you are welcome all the time in the Sebener Strasse, in the Allianz Arena. That is the big difference for me when we can talk with this kind of legends in Bayern Munich. It was so easy because all of them understand how important it is. The next coach, the next players need calm. To be calm.
You believe they do understand that? Because sometimes in the past,
I think
one of
so.
the things was the guys up top would interfere.
No, I agree. Sometimes I read that in the newspaper when I don't know. But they respect all the time. Pep, me, the staff, the players. All the time. They are there, but they are there.
We've got sponsors here, and our sponsors are Bet365, and they've sent us a question saying that Arjen Robben reckons that one day Pep woke him up with a phone call at 4 a.m. to say to him something that was on his head that was really... Was that the kind of relationship that you can have with guys at Bayern Munich?
Arjen was perfect for us. Was one of the best players in Bayern Munich in this period. And I remember even they play like attacking midfielder. Sometimes Pep play with 5 forwards. I remember against Berlin, play with Douglas Costa, play with Lewandowski, Coman, and the 2 attacking midfielders, Ribery and Arjen Robben. Arjen Robben say many times, Pep for Arjen was the best coach ever because I think he learns a lot about Pep. And he was a fantastic player, even a fantastic man for us. Because, when you start to work in Bayern Munich, some people say about Arjen or Ribery, this kind of player, it's very difficult to work with them or with him, not with Arjen. Arjen was fantastic. Fantastic man, fantastic player. He scored many goals. He played really, really well for us. And I was very happy to meet with him.
But it's okay to phone him at 4 in the morning when something is in Pep's head?
In fact, sometimes we went to Sabanstrasse with by bike because no.
You lived in the same building?
No, sometimes he was interesting about tactics. Sometimes he asked me about, because Pep talk about tactics all the time, and it's not easy to understand the first period Pep Guardiola.
I want to be I don't want to be rude, but you mentioned two guys there.
Yeah.
Ribery took much longer to understand. Yeah. I'm not being rude, but Ribery is a street player.
Yes.
Ribery comes.
Yeah.
If you told me Ribery was born in Buenos Aires in 1932, I would understand.
Because sometimes you have these kind of players, then they need all the time the ball, and they need to make one big one, and that is the most important thing for these kind of players. But I think when they understand about tactic, about Pep, and say, for example, Ribery or Robben, no, stay here. The ball is coming. It's not easy.
But they don't
it's
want
not
to
easy.
do it.
Yeah.
But they also, it's not just ego.
Yeah.
They believe that if the ball isn't coming, they have to go help.
Agree.
I'm doing something for me, but I'm doing something for the team.
Totally.
And you have to say, no, wait, be patient.
Be patient. I agree. But I think finally they understand the reason why. It's very important to respect and play positional in this position. In fact, in the left side with Thiago and Alaba, I remember they can change all the time, but you have to respect. The spaces. For example, if Thiago go outside, right now you are a winger, Thiago, and Ribery needs to go inside. You have to respect the position. Because when the team loses the ball, you have to be there to react quickly. If not, if you move all the time, even when you want to make high pressing, it's not easy to make high pressing if you move all the time. Because
there needs to be equilibrium, there needs to be balance.
Totally agree. That is the most important thing for Pep. When the people say about the positional, how important it is for Pep, it's not about you cannot move here. No, you can move. But if you move here, maybe Alaba is here, and you have the same players in the same place. 3 players in the same place. Not the same players, but 3 players in the same place. That is positional. Because it's easier for the midfielders, because you know exactly when you are in trouble, you can play wide on the side, because you are 100% sure one player is there. That is the reason why it's very important. Even when you lose the ball, you are there and you can react quickly. That is the important positional, to play positional.
For you as an assistant coach, the battles, and I mean battle in a good word, to me one of the great modern battles is the Bayern of Pep against Dortmund of, first of all, Klopp and then Tuchel. Super Cups, Cup finals.
Yeah.
The one game in a semi-final, I think, of the cup.
It was incredible. I remember that.
Where nobody scores, where everybody misses. Cup finals wins, where Ribery is, I think, playing at full back against and the 1-0 again.
Yeah.
This was an epic rivalry. For all the technical talk we've been using, this was like cinema, like opera. Dortmund, the little club from the north, Bayern Munich, the Bavarian giants. Brilliant to be part of.
Brilliant battle, especially I remember the last time against Tuchel, because Tuchel in that game changed a lot of time the system, and Pep is a genius and react quickly. No, every time Tuchel changed a little bit the system, play with 3 in the back in diamond. Pep react quickly and play a little bit different. I say, that is incredible. Because I don't remember two coaches in the moment in the final able to change a little bit.
It becomes almost like me v you on the coaches instead of only 11 v 11.
All the time.
I've thought of it. I've thought of this.
It's like if you play not soccer, you play another because both are clever. If you talk about tactics. And I remember with even in the league when you play against Tuchel, it's not easy. It's the same Pochettino in Tottenham. Pochettino, you never know what will happen in the next game. Pochettino is able to play 4-4-2 in diamond, but after 2 weeks you play against Tottenham and play 3-4-5, 3-4-2, for example, or 3-4-3 in diamond, or 4-4-2 with two lines, and you need to react quickly because maybe you prepare the next game against Pochettino or Tuchel.
But don't think it's going to be the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. You have to react quickly, and you have to try. No, you have and you must training every single day to be ready to play in 2 or 3 different systems against these kind of coaches.
You're a brilliant chef, so I'm not going to abandon everything, but I'm going to go quicker. 6th of May 2015, one of the most interesting, epic games I've ever seen in my life. Camp Nou, Champions League, Barcelona Bayern Munich. You're on the bench in Bayern Munich. You decide to play a certain way when Pep comes back to Camp Nou. For 77 minutes, it works.
Incredible.
Do you regret that choice? Do the 13 mad minutes only owe to Leo Messi being incredible? Did Bernat's tiny mistake tip the whole plate over? When you look back at that game, not the second leg, that game, do you still like the tactical choice you made to play Barcelona with Pep?
Yes, I remember all the time playing in the same system in Barcelona, not in Bayern Munich when we work in Bayern Munich, but in Barcelona. But every single game was a little bit different. The small details. The details against Bayern Munich, I remember, Leo Messi played right winger, but all the time go inside, and Eto'o play in between center back. I remember the first goal was about that. Eto'o go in between, and create a space for Leo Messi. That is the idea. The small detail is go inside Leo Messi, and very important, Eto'o go in between center back and full back and create a space because they follow him. We work a lot. When we lose the ball, we have to react so quickly to avoid they pass the ball again.
The 3-second rule.
3 seconds. And that happened in the game. After that, you play with amazing players, this kind of thing. But Eto'o all the time was very important in this game because all the time make this movement in between center back, full back, center back, full back.
So, but they had up from that day Suarez, Messi, Neymar. So you guys in Bavaria and Sabenerstrasse think like it's our team. We know how they play. And you play a formation and a tactic, which is not conservative, but it's slightly more to contain.
Yes, because if you saw the lineup, we didn't play with Ribery, with David Alaba is very important for us. With Arjen Robben, it's not easy to play against Barcelona. For me, the best Barcelona, the last, if you talk about the best Messi, the best Suarez, and the best Neymar.
It was extraordinary. But I saw a team...
we start to play man-man. I remember we started to play man-man because we want to avoid the Barcelona make the good build-up. It's very important make build-up for Barcelona. But the surprise was Luis Enrique decided to play long ball. And that's mean it's 1 against 1 against Messi, against Suarez.
You don't want that odds.
No.
You like to get 2v1 and stop.
And we have to react quickly and say we have to change. After that, we have to control after 70 minutes. 0-0 is a good result for us.
For 77 minutes, it's like shadow boxing. Barca tried this, Bayern went this way. It's like basculando. Everybody
all the time
was moving.
We play a little bit different because we have respect for Barcelona. We don't have the same players against.
But in the breaks, Lewandowski nearly scored. Lewandowski was coming back from injury, and he had a couple of opportunities that in another day he scores, and everybody says these coaches are geniuses, man. Their plan is perfect.
Graham, the shame for us, I think we make a mistake, but it's normal in football. We make a mistake, and the genius Leo Messi scored an amazing goal. I remember. And after that is the disadvantage to work in Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich is a top team. Another team say, okay, 1-0 is not bad because they have to play in Allianz Arena. But they are champions. They are a top team in Europe, Bayern Munich. And they have soul. and they decide because you are a coach, but you know sometimes in 10 minutes it's impossible to say no. Defend only the players. We are Bayern Munich.
We have to react.
And I agree. And I'm very proud. They feel no better in the same level because the same level Barcelona say no. We are Bayern Munich and we need to draw the game.
So
what happened?
Was a little more space.
More in the counter-attack. These kind of players, Neymar, and they kill. And they kill us. They kill us in 10 minutes.
It was an extraordinary night that tells you so much about football because you could see, if you're a neutral, you can see the tactics are clever.
Yeah.
And they're so close.
It's so close. But that happened when you work in the top teams. And I remember sometimes we draw the game in the Bundesliga against, I don't know, Hamburg or in Hanover. And maybe it's good for us because in one point we can win the Bundesliga. Say no, we are Bayern Munich and we need to win the game. This game.
Taking a draw on a point is not enough. We go and
that is Bayern Munich. That is good.
Sport.
The feeling, But that happened against Barcelona, the top team in that moment. In that moment, always is a top team Barcelona. But in that moment, the amazing players, forwards Neymar, Messi, and Suarez, and that can happen. And that happened. Was not good for us because 3-0 is not the same 1-0 when you have to play in the Allianz Arena.
You're a champion of England, so I haven't given enough time to your work at Barcelona or your work at Bayern Munich, but we know why. I could spend 2-3 days constantly talking about this. But I need to quote you something in Spanish that you said. You talk about England. Es una liga dura porque juegas muchos más partidos. La climatología influye, hay más riesgo de lesiones y estas. El ambiente de los campos parece llevarte a una locura colectiva. Parece que pasan muchas cosas en un partido. Luego en casa revisas las imágenes y ves que no te ha pasado nada. So in English, what Dominic is saying is that
I think
sometimes
so,
in an
because
English pitch, an English stadium, it's so mad. Everything's
but
going
that
on,
happened in the Premier League.
And you watch it and you think, oh God, no.
For example, for me the difference, the league, the Premier League in the Bundesliga is the Bundesliga is use a lot of time the counter-attack and the atmosphere is really good. But in the Premier League, it's crazy. The atmosphere, it's crazy in the stadiums. And that when you are in the bench, say, dangerous, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and after that, when you are at home and review again the game, say, nothing happened. But in the stadium, the noise, the atmosphere is amazing. It's the best atmosphere in the world. In the Bundesliga as well, but it's different. The fans sing all the time, support his team, but every single tackle, when you fight this war in the Premier League.
Is it like the British that when we play football, we like to go to war? Is that true? We think every game.
Is that true?
If you're a player, a supporter,
doesn't matter if you play against Burnley, Bournemouth, Man United, Tottenham. The atmosphere is crazy. It's crazy. The people is crazy. I love this atmosphere. But I remember that we spoke with Pep about that. So I reviewed the game. I was scared the last 5 minutes. Oh, they can draw the game. Say, well, they play long ball all the time and nothing happened, no? But this is the Premier League. That is one of the best or the best league in the world, and the fans love the Premier League and around the world for the atmosphere.
What's the thing that you?
It's not the same right now. For example, you know.
Without fans, it's something that we all have to cope with. What's the thing about your achievement in Manchester City that you like best, that you're most proud of?
I'm very proud to connect with the fans and with the players, but I'm very proud to be able to create one style, different style. Because when the people, with the fans, with the journalists say it's impossible to play in the Premier League, the Premier League is different, I say, why is different? The pitch is the same, it's 11 against 11, no? And I'm very proud because I think the fans, the Man City fans love the kind of way Pep Guardiola plays.
You slightly changed their mentality.
I think so, a little bit. It's very similar right now, the players. When I say about the Bayern Munich players, the soul is not good enough for the Man City draw the game.
No.
Against Man United or Tottenham in away. Right now, it's the same in Man City. Man City is not good enough to draw the game, and right now, that's mean they make the next step. The next step, they feel champions. They feel better, no? Right now, and I'm very proud about that because right now is different. I think the mentality of the players in Man City is different, and that happened because Pep convinced them they are better than they think about themselves.
I need to finish with 3 questions. 1, Pep always said that City would have difficulty winning the Champions League, and I understand his point, until everybody breathed the Champions League. Everybody wanted the Champions League. Until your neighbour says to you, if you're a player, win the Champions League. Whereas instead, in England right now, it's win the league, beat Manchester United, beat Liverpool. And we live around a club with Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, where they breathe Champions League.
Yeah.
Will that change ever, do you think? That people around City, the fans, the players, the owners, that everybody goes, Champions League, Champions League, Champions League.
I think the Champions League is prestigious than the league, but the most difficult is to win the league again and again and again. Because the league, you have to be able to play every single game really well to beat the opponent. Sometimes the Champions League is not fair for the teams because sometimes if you play not good one game, you are out.
1 10-minute spell, even.
Barcelona Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
We talk about that. 10 minutes, we are out. And I know how important it is for the prestigious is the Champions League for the clubs, for the Bayern Munich, for the even right now Man City, because you know it's prestigious for the team. It's very interesting, and for the fan. I'm not sure in Man City, because it's curious. Is surprise for me. We had more people in the Premier League games and the Cup games, even in the Carabao Cup, not in the Champions League.
This is my question because
it's my question. Say I don't understand. They are interesting to win. They know exactly how important it is for the club, for the how prestigious is for the club to win the Champions League, and maybe they prefer to win the Premier League in the cup or the cup.
My second last one is Raheem Sterling has contract for 3 years at Manchester City, but I know he has a dream of playing in La Liga. My opinion, hypotheticamente, is he has the talent to fit and to succeed at Barca or Real Madrid easily. I'm talking about hypothetically. Raheem Sterling.
Raheem improved every single game. I think was very important for Raheem Pep Guardiola because Pep has this quality. Improve all teaching and improve all the time the players. And Raheem is ready to play
that's what I believe.
In the league, in the Calcio, and because right now for me is another player. I remember when we start to play to work in Man City. He has a lot of qualities, but he's not the same player right now. I think he understands perfectly how important it is. We spoke about Arjen Robben and Ribery, right? It's the same. Stay quiet, to be patient, play in between the lines. He can play like a striker right now with Pep Guardiola, like a number 10, right winger, or in the right side and the left side, and he scored a lot of goals. Finishes much better.
Calmer in front
but
of goal.
You cannot imagine Pep Guardiola all the time in the pitches, in the training session, talk with him about that is better for you, play a little bit, body shake, for example, is better play in that way, not in that way. In that moment, pass the ball, don't keep the ball. In that moment, you have to keep the ball. That is important for Pep. It's like a teacher. It's like a teacher for the players.
I wanted to talk jazz with you. I wanted to talk gin tonic with you. I wanted to talk saxophone with you. They're all gone because of the rain and because of the paella. The last question is, Domènec Torrent, I want a guy like you back coaching a club, managing a club. One, for everybody listening, that's what you want also. You want You're not going to go back with Pep and be assistant again. It's time for you now, after the New York experiment, to be a number one coach in a senior club in hopefully Europe, right? That's your objective.
Right. It's not easy because I know exactly what happened and how football is working. If you are a famous player, you have more chances to take a top team or a team in Europe now. But I think I have more experience than another coaches right now because I learn a lot with Pep. My goal is to work again like a head coach because I was very happy in New York. I think the team played really well. Very similar Man City. It's normal because I work with Pep 11 years. In fact, I have a good relationship with Pep, but he knows my goal right now is work again like a head coach. In fact, yesterday I spoke with Pep about football, about many things. I spoke with him many things about, especially about football, about my future, because he's interested about my future. He asked me about my goal is Europe, but it's not easy because the football is working in that way.
Then let me make it clear.
You need to play in Premier League or in the Bundesliga, but I say many times when we talk about that with my colleagues or with Pep, okay, I have the experience with with work with Pep. I know exactly what is the best way to improve because I work with Pep and I saw all the time how he did. I know exactly the best way to improve the build-up because I have in my mind when I work with Pep. But I know I need a little bit lucky, and sometimes one team in the Bundesliga, because I know the Bundesliga or the Premier League, say, oh, this is the coach.
You shouldn't need any luck. You won the league in Germany, you won the league in England, you won the league in Spain, you won the Eastern Conference in America.
I know that.
You won trophies in 2 different continents. You were one of a very small coaching team that won the treble. You won the Champions League in the most beautiful Champions League final there's ever been, and you won a Champions League in Rome as part of a team with guys who were 60% fit. Iniesta, Titi Henry. Your trophies are everywhere. You're a teacher. Before you met Pep, you were a first coach for 14 years. You got 4 different languages. You're young, you're fit, you're intelligent. You don't need any luck. It's time to go back in football.
Thank you so much. But I need one sporting director think about, maybe Domènec can do that.
Then I say, every sporting director, why not? Come on, pay attention.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the interview, and for everybody who's listening, yes, it is raining very heavily. Even in Catalonia, it rains sometimes. Domènec Torrent, thank you for being on the big interview. Now we have to do
Great pleasure.
Shaking hands.
Great pleasure.
Fist bump.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening, everybody.